Hey, what's up guys? This is Matt with some Just for Fun. We're going to play some mono blue artifacts in standard. This is kind of a funky, funky little fun, silly deck. There's a pretty obvious artifact theme in Origins, and some of the other cons cards and colorless is a thing, and it's kind of just like a fun theme. And the tokens deck, the like a blue red tokens Thopter tokens deck, is pretty decent. But I was thinking, what if we tried to go as mono? Well, it used to be called brown, right? When you played all artifacts, because they were brown. Now they're silver, so I don't know what you want to call it. But we wanted to try to use as many colorless mana symbols as possible. And what are some of the benefits? Well, one is you get to play some cool colorless lands like Tomb here, which is great in an aggro deck because it helps you win a race. Saves you from that dying from that last burn spell, whatever. Foundry, which just ends up getting you value in the late game if you need some extra dudes to close it out. Darksteel Citadel, which is great, obviously with Insol Artifact, but it's also great with Thopter Spy Network because it's an indestructible artifact that keeps your Thopter Spy Network turned on. So this card is insane. I guess the obvious comparison is Bitter Blossom. It's not Bitter Blossom, but it's a combination of like Bitter Blossom and Bident of Thassa, in that it lets you draw extra cards and get extra value out of creating tokens. And there's lots of good things you can do with the tokens here. You can gain more life with them. You can tap them for mana. You can suit them up into 5/5s. You can equip them to with the Ghostfire Blade. There's lots of cool things you could do with those. You can make them big with Chief. So the deck has a lot of fun synergy. Insult Artifact, which kind of just works with all of your cards and works really well. Construct is good with Ornithopter, like turn 1 Ornithopter Construct. Then you can start attacking. I've done that, and then turn 2 Ghostfire Blade, equip Ornithopter. You attack him with 2 power creatures, one of them with flying. It's pretty cool. There's a bunch of one-of fun-ofs in here, as is a trademark thing to do in Just for Fun. We've got a Hangerback Walker, which if I had 4 of them, there would be 4 in the deck. It's an amazing card. It's really great. So somehow I left it out when I first built the deck, so now we're going to see how well it does in here. Revoker is just there because it's the only half-decent 2-drop artifact aside from Hangerback. But it occasionally will hose something, and it's good against control. Against aggro, I would sub it out for Omen Speaker, which it's just a better brick wall. Harbinger is there as a one-of to bounce something. It's like I wanted to play with this card, and I didn't want to build Blue Devotion, and I just felt like it was like a good fit to stick one-of in here. You don't want too many double blue spells because we're only playing, I think, 10 islands. Let's see what else is in here. We talked about Construct. Huge Stone Retainers is there as like an illusory angel, right? It's just like another artifact dude, and works well with Ornithopter and the other cheap artifacts. Lower down on the curve. Chief, obvious. Ugin's Construct I threw as a 1/1 because sometimes you just need a big dumb guy, right? So this serves as the big dumb guy. And for the most part, you don't really have anything blue in play that you want to that's gonna hurt you to sacrifice. For the most part, obviously, it's just an easy drawback to play around. And Whirler Rogue, which is amazing in the deck. Not only is it good in limited, but it's great in constructed too. I think this is a great card. I think it's better than the red one, because the ability is like, the ability on this, the unblockable, is what made Thassa so good. Thassa wasn't good because it was the 3 mana indestructible 5/5. We have a 2 mana indestructible 5/5 that's not that great, right? This is good because you can make everything unblockable. So the turn it comes out, you can tap the 2 Thopter tokens to make something that you already have on board unblockable and attack with it. Usually a 5/5 Ferment Soul, right? Or some other decent creature. You can also tap all the other things. Ghostfire Blade is great with Whirler Rogue because you can tap the blade and that doesn't affect anything. You can tap Darksteel Citadel or Springleaf Drum, and it's fine. So Whirler Rogue is just great. Sideboard is not really a well thought out sideboard. I just threw in some Omen Speakers to swap out for the Revokers. Negate is just always a good blue card to play. Bell Strike, I put if you're playing against big green dummies, Bell Strike is pretty good. Or basically, any other creature deck that you want to slow them down a lot. And Encased in Ice is good against big dummies too. So not really a well thought out sideboard or anything like that. It's just a bunch of stuff I figured I'd give a try. This is just for fun. Obviously, we don't care too much about winning a tournament or metagaming. So we're just throwing a bunch of cards together, see how they work. And I've had fun with this deck. It can lead to some pretty ridiculous plays. So, having multiple spy networks in play is pretty crazy. Anyway, let's give it a shot.